So the point of this video is to show what do we do when we're analyzing a property that comes across our desk that's a pretty solid deal. So this is what we're going to do. Alright, so I typically start off in Evernote. I have a notebook in Evernote that says properties under analysis, and the property that we're going to be looking at today is actually 9427 Green Willow, Houston, Texas 77096. Now, with these properties, I typically add the name of the point of contact or the seller and any asking price, things like that, but I'm not going to do that today because I don't know who's going to be looking at the video. So here's a questionnaire. If I call the client or the seller, I may ask them about 17 questions or 19 questions to give me a little more insight around the property. And their questions like, is it a good time to talk, or what about the foundation, are you the only owner, different liens. So that's what we're going to ask, but today we're going to be focusing more on the analysis part of it. Alright, so once I create my note, then the first place I go is RPR. So RPR stands for Realtor Property Resource. You have to be a realtor to gain access. Alright, so I've already somewhat pulled it up, but I'm just going to show you what it does. If I were to just plug in the address in RPR and press search, then it's going to pull up a write-up. So this is the write-up that it pulls up. And on RPR is where I'm going to get the majority of my information, and most importantly, I'm going to get the current RVM, which it shows me here. Okay, so let's do this. Let's split screen, so we can make it easier for us to maneuver. Okay. So with with Evernote, it tells me certain things. So the subdivision. So let's start with the subdivision. So we go to our RVR write-up, and the subdivision is here. Here we go, subdivision, Willow Meadows, section 5. So that's our subdivision. So we're going to add that into our note. We're not able to get the key map yet. So it's asking what's the property type. So the property type is single family, so we're just going to put an S. Alright, number of beds. Alright, so we go up. RVR is going to tell us that. Here we go. So here we go. Bedrooms. So 4. I'm going to put 4 in RVR. Total baths 2. Units, since it's a single family, it's just a house, so it's just 1 unit. Year built 1960. Alright, so RPR AVM. So that was that number that it pulled up for us, to 307,740. Now the reason that these two numbers are different is because this property is actually listed on HAR on the MLS, and they have it listed for $299, but RPR is saying that its RVM is 307,740. So we're going to put 307,740. Okay, tax assessment. So we're going to see what the tax district, Harris County tax district for this particular property, what it is saying that the value of the home is. Okay, so tax information. So improvement land, so the total assessment from a taxing standpoint is 184. Now we don't get caught up on that number because we know the type of appraisals that the tax county does. I would be surprised if they even get in their car and drive to the location. So we really want to look at a number of locations before we come up with an assessment of value. Okay, so there we go. Good old Zestimate. So we're going to look at Zillow as well to see what Zillow says. So I've already pulled that up. Okay, so Zillow shows that it's listed $299, but I want to see what the Zestimate. So Zestimate details. Let's see. All right, it says the Zillow's Zestimate is $313,183. So that's what their automatic valuation for the property is, $313,183. So look, we got 4 different values. We got the list price of $299, the RPR of 307, the taxes of 184, and the Zestimate of 313. I mean, how are we going to know what this property is valued at? Okay, so building size square feet. That is here, total area. No, not total area. Yeah, total area, gross area. So 2,746 square feet is how big this house is. No, let's not say that yet. Let's double check. So this is saying the living area is 1992. So they must have like a porch or a huge garage or something, because it's just saying here the living area is 1992. So that's what we're going to put. Building square feet, 1992. So whatever was going on with the taxes and as far as their area, I don't know how they're coming up with it. And then the lot size is 9,100 square feet. Okay, so we have all of our data points when it comes to RPR. So now what we're going to do is we're going to run the RPR reports. Well, before we run the RPR reports, let's go to HAR and let's run our rental comparables and our sold comparables so we can fill out the rest of this form. Okay, so I'm going to enlarge this. So when searching for coming up with our sale comparables, we have to do a market analysis. We have to do a search. So the first thing we're going to do is a single family search. And go here to HAR and we're going to run this search. Now the reason that it's good for us to get all that information from RPR first is because we're going to use that information to do our search. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do, we'll let it keep loading. Okay, so the subdivision, let's see where we at. There we go. Alright, so remember on our note we put the subdivision here, Willow Meadows section 15. Now we're not going to do the sections, we're just going to say Willow Meadows because it'll make it too complicated. So we'll plug in Willow Meadows. Okay. So we're only looking for properties, where we want to see what properties are pending and what properties are sold, that have sold. Now we haven't put any parameters, so it's going to pull up a bunch of properties. Okay, so it's too many, right? But so we're going to put some parameters. First parameter is we want to put in the zip code because it may be a Willow Meadows subdivision somewhere else in the city. So we want to make sure that we're just in the Willow Meadows that we're looking for. So zip code is 77096. Alright, so that's the first parameter. Okay, so that gave us 248 matches. Now we don't want to just find all the properties that have been sold forever. We just want to look at the ones that have sold in the last 6 months. So what we're going to do is we're going to put the close date beginning 6 months from, say, today's date. So 6 months from today is going to put us into June. So we'll just go June 1st, 2015, and we'll leave it open. So from June 1st till today. Alright, so there we go. Now that gives us some workable data. So we got 17 matches. Alright, so even just kind of looking at the map, we can see that there's a lot of properties that are active here in this little area. And then there's some selling that's going on across the 610. Alright, so what we're going to do is click on results. Alright, so now remember I told you our property is actually on the market. So here it is right there. It's pulling up in our search. And it's the least expensive property on the market. So that's always a good thing, showing a motivated seller. Alright, so let's enlarge our map a little bit and see where our property is. Okay. So our property is over here where all these other properties are that ain't selling. So that tells me that we may be a little overpriced over in this area. And that's not a good thing. But we'll keep looking. Okay, but we're going to look at both sides of 610. Alright, so now what we're going to do is we're going to save this search. So if we have to come back to it, we can easily pull it back up. Alright, so we're going to call this the analysis. So here I have my little, we'll just say the address 9427 Green Willow, and we'll say analysis, and we'll put a S because this is our sales analysis. You only have a certain amount of space, so we'll say S. So we'll save this one as our sales analysis. Alright, so now we also want to look to see what how the rental market is performing in that area. So we're going to do another search. So we're going to go to rentals, and we're going to right here MLS rent. Okay. There we go. Alright, so now here's our menu for the rentals. Now we're going to do the same thing. We're going to plug in that subdivision. We're going to plug in that subdivision. And our subdivision was Willow Meadows. So we're going to plug in that subdivision. Alright, now we're looking for items that have closed, pending, and closed. We're going to put our first boundary 77096, and then now for rentals, I don't go back 6 months. I just go back a couple of months because the rental market is a lot more volatile than the sales market. So we're just going to go back to October for the rental market and see what's sold. Alright, so see, we only had one property. That's rented in this area. So let's check out that. Let's see what that property is. Which side of the freeway is that property? Alright, so it's on the other side of the freeway. So it looks like all activity is happening across the freeway. But we'll still look at it. So across the freeway, looks like they're renting. They rented for $3,500. Alright, so we're gonna save this search as well. And again, we'll do our address, 9427, just in case we got to come back to it. Green Willow. Do analysis, and we'll do a R. All right, so we're gonna save that. All right, so now we have our searches saved. Okay, so now the next thing we're gonna do is that we're gonna go ahead and print out our reports. And we're going to save our reports. Alright, so since it's already up on rental, we'll start with the rental reports. So we're going to click on report, and we are going to choose 4 reports. So we want the all agent full report. We want the all gallery photo report. We want the public map view because we want to see the map, and we want the quick CMA portrait. Those are our reports. Now we're going to save those as PDFs. So we'll do save as PDF. Alright, and we are going to save this one as Fusion rental comp analysis package, and then we're going to put our address, which is 9427 Green Willow, Houston, Texas 77096. Now I always choose the lowest PDF quality so it'll download faster. So we'll press OK. Alright, so now it's going to go ahead and download that for us. So we should see it pop down here in a little bit. There we go. So now it's doing our report for us. Okay, so now we want to do the sale reports. Here we go. So we'll go to print. Reports. Okay, now we're going to do those same reports. All agent full report, all gallery photo report, public map view, quick CMA portrait. And we're going to save that. Okay, we're going to go Fusion sale comp analysis package, and then our address, 9427 Green Willow. Houston, Texas 77096. Go lowest, fastest download speed. Press OK, and it should send our report down there shortly. Sometimes it takes a little while. Depending on the size of the file. There we go. See, that's a big old booger. 10.5 megabytes. So our okay, so it's saved. So I like to wait for them to save completely before I get to messing around, because then it'll throw off their downloads. Alright, so the reason we did all of that was because we wanted to finish filling out our analysis. Okay, so remember, we want to see the rental sold days on market, comparable rental sold prices, comparable rental current list prices, and the same thing for the sold properties. Alright, so the first thing we'll do is we'll look at our rental comp report package, which is going to have all that information for me. Okay, so rental sold days on market. So this is after it's been sold. Now, since there's only one property here, it's all going to be the same. So 3,500. Okay, so comparable rental. I'm sorry, that's not right. It's the days on market. So the days on market is here. I always look at the cumulative, well, that's the C, not just the regular days on market. But there's one that says C, days on market. Let me make it big so you can see it. Right here where it says that C, DOM, that's the one we're looking for, not just the regular days on market. In this particular situation, though, it is the same. Okay, so now the 3,500 goes here. That's our comparable rental solds. And again, I get that here at the bottom. Sold price, SP, sold price, and then it's 3,500. Okay, so then we want to look at the comparable list price. Again, they're all the same because it's only one property. So 1850 is that price. Alright, so now we have that filled out for our rentals. So we're going to do the same thing for our solds. So we're going to exit out of here. And we're going to pull up our Fusion sold analysis. So we're going to click on that. Let that load for us. This one may take a little longer again because it's so big. Alright, so we're going to scroll all the way to the bottom because that's where our CMA is. You see how big that thing is? It has 83 pages in this report. Alright. Okay, so it's going to give us sold days on market days. We scroll over. Remember, we're going to go for the cumulative, C. And the one at the top is the lowest average, lowest days on market, the average days on market, and the highest days on market. So here our high is 39 days, and see how they're different, DOM versus CDOM. That's why you always want to choose cumulative. That's the total amount. That's the best number. Our low is 3 days and our average is 18. We look at our comparable sold price. So here are our sold prices. Again, it's low, average, high. So our high is 557. Our low is 280. And our average is 427. 975. Alright, and then we do the same thing for the list price. So our high is 1.5 million. Our low is 299,000, which is actually the property that we're looking at. So it's the lowest. And then the average is 543,817. Okay, so now we've completed, for the most part, we've completed our analysis of the area. So there's a couple of other things that we're going to do now. Let us X out of here. So now we're going to go back to RPR. What we want to do in RPR is we want to go ahead and run the property report and the seller report, and we're actually going to do a comp analysis on RPR as well. So we're going to create us a comp analysis, and again, when you're analyzing properties, you want to be looking at a number of resources and data so you can make the best analysis or best opinion of value. Remember, all of this is an opinion. This is an opinion of value. Okay, so we're going to confirm our facts. Now we're going to find comps. Now, the thing I really like about RPR, and Fusion does it as well, but it'll allow you to do a polygon. Okay, so this is our search criteria. We're going to search for everything. With RPR, I like to look at the totality of the market. And we're going to look at single families. We're looking at within the last 6 months. And we're looking at bed, bath, living area. And we're going to look at lot size too, because it has a fairly large lot. Okay, so we're going to press search. Okay, so it gives us a lot of properties. Now what we're going to do though is we're going to draw us a polygon around the area that we're going to analyze. So I'm just going to look at this triangle right here. Just that triangle. Okay, so we're going to start. Let's see something first. Move it up. There we go. So we're going to look at this triangle. Okay, so we'll start here at the top. We're going to go to the freeway. Here. so search this area. Alright, so we're just looking at the general vicinity of the property. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on everything because I want to look at everything. So the properties at the top, we saw the sold property, and then these are properties that are for sale, and then these are properties that are off the market. So RPR is able to give me a look at everything, even expired. See, this one recently expired, and then this one recently expired. Alright, so we're going to update valuation and close. Alright, so RPR, so based on that triangle and what's sold in the last 6 months, we're getting an adjusted comp analysis number of 356,250. Okay, so we're going to now print report. RPR lets you print reports as well. So we're going to the seller's report. We're going to create that report. So we're just going to say display as a PDF, and then we're going to run that report. And then now RPR is going to generate that report for us. It says it's going to take a couple of minutes. That's all right. So we're going to look. We want a seller's report, and we also want a property report. And we're going to run that report. All right. So we got 2 reports that we're waiting on. Now while we're waiting on those reports, I'm going to go ahead and do something that helps me read my notes a lot easier. And that's only because we're waiting on these reports to be done. So what I do is I actually, all my data, I make it blue just so it's easier for me to read. You know, I may need to look at this note from my phone if I'm out and about. So it's just easier for me for my eyes to go to my data because it's a different color. And I'm a little biased towards blue. Alright, so let's see now if our reports are done. No, they're still being generated. Okay. Now there are other things that I like to pull from RPR as well. Let's go back to property details. And go back to our summary. Okay, so there are other things. Clearly we have pictures, and it is on the MLS, so we're gonna get that right up as well. But it tells me who the homeowner is, and all of this is public record. RPR just combines it for you. See who the homeowner is, and you can even look at this graph. This is a great visual. It'll show you how this house is performed compared to the zip code. So you can see that this house is underperformed compared to the zip code. See that? Oh, it's rung the doorbell. That means one of my reports are ready. Well, we'll finish up here, and then we'll go get that report. It lets me know that it's on the MLS, and it pulls that information off the MLS. But some of the good details I like is the mortgage records. So it'll kind of give me an idea of if there's a mortgage on the house. So it seems that somebody took out a loan in 2008. It was a home equity loan. So that may have something to do with some of the challenges that they're running up against as far as moving this property. And in 2006, it looks like somebody may have pulled some money out of the houses again. So there's a couple of refinances going on here. Oh, there's my other report ready. But we're going to take this mortgage data and we're going to go ahead and put it in our Evernote, because that's going to be some good information for us that we may need to use at some point. So we'll put that under additional comments. So we'll say mortgage information. And we're going to paste that in there. Okay, so we got some more mortgage information. And again, I like it all to be blue. Okay. Alright, so let's go get our reports now. So we'll go to here, reports, and we're going to download both of them. Alright, there we go. Let's report. That's our property report. So let's get our seller's report. Seller's report. We're going to download that. Okay. So let's save them. Because what we're going to do is we're going to take these reports and we're going to upload them to our Evernote. So we're just going to save it in that folder for us. And we're going to save this one. Okay, so we got those reports. Now, because this property is on the MLS, we're going to go ahead and print that MLS right up separate. All right, so we're just going to the selected property 1. We're going to go back to reports. Now we're going to do since it's only one property, then we're going to do our agent full report, gallery photo report, so we'll have our pictures. We also want to do the history report to see, has it been on the market before, has it decreased, like what would the any decreases in price. Let's see, we got our map. No, we don't have our map, so we want our map, agent report, photo report, map, history, and we don't need the CMA because it's just that one property. So we're going to go ahead and save that as well. And we'll just save this one as MLS write-up. I'm going to do low, and we'll say active MLS write-up. Active, because it is active MLS write-up. Alright, there it is. Okay, so now we're going to upload all of the reports that we've done. So we have our Fusion sale report, our Fusion comp report, our RPR property report, our RPR sales report, and our active MLS write-up. We're going to upload all of those into Evernote, which is fairly simple. So we're going to go to our folder. Okay, we're going to bring that buddy over here. And we're going to go to downloads. And they're all by each other. So we're going to take this one, our rental comp, sale comp, sellers report, property report, active MLS, and we're just going to drag them and drop them in the Evernote. So now Evernote is uploading 5 files for us. Now we know that's going to take some time because these are some big heavy duty files. Alright, so while it's doing that, there are some other things that I do when I'm researching properties. So I'll actually Google the address. So we're not going to do that here in this video, but we all know how to use Google. Just take the address and we'll put it in Google. We'll put the owner's name in Google. Same thing with social media. So Facebook, LinkedIn, put the address, property address in Facebook. See what comes up. See if you have any comments. Sometimes you'll pull up posts about open houses. You'll pull up posts about just all types of the people that you're searching, as well as, you know, you'll be able to see maybe their occupation, what they're into. Just get to know the owner if they're on social media. Also, you'll get to see just, you know, it's just so much that you can get from the internet as far as research. So Facebook, LinkedIn, we'll search there. Also, real property records. You know, the county clerk's office. You can actually do real property searches off addresses and see what kind of documents have been recorded for certain properties. So you can do that as well. So it's saved our report. So we uploaded all our reports. So now we have everything under one roof, under one note here in Evernote. Okay, so now we've done our analysis, we've done our data. At that point, we want to forward to our client any information, reach out to them. We have a list of buyers that purchase in a particular area. We want to reach out to them, and we want to let them know that we have an opportunity. We have all our data. We can speak confidently and smartly around the area and kind of the trends. So, like for this particular property in the subdivision, there is a lot of properties for sale, but we are the lowest property, and based on this seller's situation or level of motivation, we can probably get that price to a point to where it will make sense for somebody to come in and purchase that property, maybe rent it out, or even come and upgrade it and then sell it. So again, the point of this video was just to give an idea of what goes into when we're analyzing a property, what kind of data that we're looking for, what areas that we're going to. And again, I have the questionnaire questions on here, so if a person's interested in, if you might want to reach out to the owner and ask these questions. So that's just additional information that you can give to your sellers. And the reports and the searches. So without further ado, that ends this video.